it was an idea I had, which was to see what it would look like. The basics was just to see an actor reenact a performance that they had already done, and to see what that would look like, because I thought that would be something really magical to see. So my first inkling was to, dreaming big, get Catherine Deneuve and have her redo scenes from Repulsion, and that didn't really go anywhere. So James and I knew each other through my artwork, and I asked him about it, and then it, took on the life that it did through James. Well, primarily what I did was gather all of the films that James had been in up until the time we shot the film, 2008, commercials, TV shows and films. And I went through all of them and subtracted everything he had ever done and took the other actors out, which, took more than it took to make the film, actually, and put them all in a line and made categories, for instance, like walking through doors or answering telephones, obviously, or drinking water, the things that get you to other scenes and not the meat of scenes, what I was most interested in. And then as far as the acting goes, I wanted James to, you have this actor who's talented and attractive, but I wanted to sort of take that down and make him act and not use his ability as an actor and just bring it down to maybe 50% and see what that would look like. I mean, we did a lot of talking in email and on the phone before we actually got to the set to shoot the film. But if any of you are sitting around to see Maladies, it's a totally different film of mine here at the festival, but it's the same thing where we didn't do a lot of rehearsing because I didn't want things to be prepared. I wanted them to sort of evolve in front of the camera. So that could make for either a disaster or something really refreshing in certain points in the film. So and also to your question, he had an earpiece. Sometimes you can see it. Both of us had earpieces. So there were times where I was giving him direction as we were shooting, which is quite costly and not something you would normally do because you can get a lot of mistakes. And we were also watching a monitor of all the video pieces that he had acted in that I strung together off to the side. So he was seeing himself and sort of reinterpreting it in a very slow motion sort of way. So it was very organic. I mean, this is maybe me and maybe I don't know what the audience thinks, so this is a very indulgent movie. But if I'm watching James drink water or eat crackers, I could watch that for a very long time, clearly. So it was really hard for me to edit that. And I think that's totally fine. I think it's like it's a poetic thing as opposed to a film, something you have to sit through and sort of think, I'm really fucking bored, but it's also something really beautiful about it. I didn't know what would happen. So it was so experimental that, on paper it's one thing, and then when you actually do it, it's another, and then editing is a whole other thing. So as far as an atmosphere, that sort of presented itself to me as we shot it and as we edited it. So, you can only plan these things so much at the outset, unlike other films, which are, you have to know everything you're doing every second. This was almost the opposite of that. It's not Spring Breakers or The Oz, it's, erase James Franco. So if you came for that, I'm really sorry. It's like, it's a sort of a dangerous thing to say, but it's much more fun to read about this movie than watch it. Totally fine with me. I mean, I'm glad you guys came, but it's same with the Rauschenberg. It's like the idea of it is so simple and so beautiful that, I got a chance to see the Erased de Kooning in San Francisco. The curator showed me and they took it out of the frame, everything. It was, there's something really haunting about it. Same with this, it's something really haunting about it. It's not a narrative picture. It's not. I'm not answering your question at all. I'm rambling. It's like a ghost of and also it's 5 years ago, and I'm a different person, and James Franco's a different person, and his career sort of. When you look at something like this and you think of what he's doing now, it's a strange thing when you add the time element. I think the same with the actual Erased de Kooning piece of art too. It's sort of stuck in a moment from that idea. The idea came from that painting, from that piece of art. And I forgot to mention the other obvious things, which is he's acting as two other actors, as Julianne Moore in a film called Safe by Todd Haynes, and Rock Hudson in a film called Seconds. Well, those two movies are two movies I really like, and the story of the actors in those films are of characters that sort of disintegrate for different reasons, and sort of change in their identity, and more so in Seconds, in a very interesting way, which is what's happening to James in this movie. He's sort of disintegrating and sort of wanting to and having this other something put upon him to change and to transform into something. So that's the relationship to those films, because those characters, the same thing is happening to them. I don't know if you're familiar with those movies, but if you were, it might add to the experience of seeing this film.
Or
All right, who's coming to Maladies? They're out of here. It's like one person.
for the rest, who doesn't know why they should come?
Exactly.
Yeah, you need to get tickets because Maladies is good. Maladies is a movie that it's much more scripted, but it's very open, and there's some of the acting techniques in Erase James Franco are in Maladies with some of your piecework, where I'm directing the actors as they're acting, and it has Catherine Keener and James, and David Strathairn and Alan Cumming, and is that it? And it's a good movie. I don't know. It's okay.
I agree. And thank you for coming.